would like to see with you is about talent and SEN, learning as an individual experience. Why? Because we all know that we have students with special needs. These special needs are for all of us an input, a challenge, sometimes a big challenge. We want to manage their experience at school in order to be the best one, in order to give evidence to their talent, in order to give them the opportunity to grow exactly like all the other students in their class. So I would like to go through special educational needs related to individual learning path. So the first thing that is important to say is um, what we mean when we think about special educational needs. I will talk about SEN, and I will use this term referring to the UNESCO concept of that. This concept of special educational needs is an extension of the first description of disability, which is only, it's a different way, a completely different way of looking to this subject. Because when we refer to disability categories, we want to, we think about a situation that is certified, not in order to go to school, but for life. It's something which is just an information that we take, we as a school teacher, school tutors, in order to know which is the beginning condition. What is interesting for us is really thinking about the information that we need at school. Well, pupils who do poorly in school, who fail for various reasons. We will try to go through the reasons and to try how to manage in the best way the situation we have doing an individual learning path. And we will try to go through a model, a form that I prepare for you, because today, as I think you know, we have in the same session the first part, which is on the theory, and the second part, which is an exercise. So we will try to do exactly to manage in practical what is an individual learning path for a special educational need. Of course, we also know that for some reason we can have students absolutely without any disability that in a certain period of his or her life has a special educational need. Exactly for this reason, it is very important to be aware of what we can do and to find a model to manage the situation in order to be in the same way to behave in the same way, to manage in the same way different situations in different time, in different classes, as a school, as a full body, with a commitment towards this theme, very important. So the concept of special educational needs comes from, it's quite a long story, because the first standard norms were stated in 1983 to give equal opportunities for persons with disabilities. Then, after this first statement, only a few years later, in 1989, comes the Convention on the Rights of the Child. This is very important for us, because also in our school we consider this convention as the very basis of all we do, in order to give them education in all subjects, in all situations, for their life, not only for the schools. Then in 2006, the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities gives another point, a very important point, on not only to recognize the situation, but also to do all we can do to give them opportunity, equal opportunities in their life. So in all the world, we have a real commitment, and we give importance to protect the weakest people, especially if these weakest people are children, and especially if we can recognize that they are bio, psycho, socially disadvantaged for any reason. So we can see that special educational need is an evolution on the concept of disability and health. This definition is based on the Disability ICF of 2001, the International Classification of Functioning, Disability and Health. ICF is a acronym, is the first letters of these three words. Well, here we have a very interesting description of the system of special educational needs. Starting from physical conditions, we can observe if there are limitations on activities, if there are restrictions on the participation, in our case, in the class life, if there is any impairment in body structures and functions. And we can understand whether these situations refers to personal factors, to environmental factors, or to both. I found this scheme very clear, and giving us a synthetic information on what we have to observe. These situations can be, of course, both definitive or referring to a specific time of our students' life. I give you an example. Last time I was on an Erasmus, I have one of my students who had broken arm. He was supposed to go to an internship in one electrical factory. We decided with the local tutor to go to the factory to understand whether it was possible for the student to go on with the internship, or we should find another solution if this physical condition was a real limitation of the activities that was not possible to go through. And when we arrived to the company, we decided to, with the local tutor, with the company tutor, that it was, of course, there were some restrictions in the participation of the activities, to the activities of the student, but these restrictions, due to personal factors, were not so impossible to give up the internship. So the students was able to go on doing, of course, easy activities, staying inside the company, not going outside, for instance, to see the cantieri, but to with the opportunity to have a place which was enough comfortable for him, timing and a movement that was possible, even if he has this broken arm, sorry. And this was due to environmental factors. The opportunity was to consider all the situation in order to give the students a limitation that could affordable for him, and not without giving up the opportunity to do the internship. Well, if we consider the ICF model, there are 6 specific domains related to special needs. The first one is the most clear, and was the one about whom I was talking in a few moments ago. Physical conditions. Of course, we can have students that have various diseases. These diseases can be acute or chronic. There could be some injuries. That could be some chromosomal situations. We can, of course, consider them, even if we are not a doctor, we are not a medician, we are not a person that has the opportunity to make diagnosis about this, what the conditions are. For this reason, also for the following one, we need to have a specialist on our side before school, during the school, not at school, of course, but during the school year, in order to have a clear idea of the opportunity of studying for this specific student. The second domain refers to body structures and body functions. We can have nervous system structures, eye, ear structures related to speech, and other problems related to the structure of the student. For instance, we can discover during the school year that the student has some difficulties in watching the blackboard, and we discover that he has some problems with the eyes, as me, for instance, myopia or something like that. Or the students can hear us very well, and we can suggest the opportunity to go through dealing with the family, whether the student is minor. We can consider this situation exactly like visual deficits, motor deficits, attentional deficits, memory deficits, and something like that. These are very evident in the school life, because we can see that it is very clear the difficulty of the student. For instance, when I see students with attentional deficits, it is very difficult for them even to stay seated in their place for a long time. They need to stand, they need to say something, they need to do some activities that are sometimes difficult to deal, especially when we are in class and we try to capture all the attention of our students. We have one or two of them with attentional deficits. This has to be managed in order to give us the opportunity to do the best lesson we can, to give us the opportunity to take care of these students, but also to take care to all the other students, to give the students, both the one with this specific situation and the ones that do not have any, to be able to follow the lesson, to be able to hire their skills. Then another important domain is the one about personal activities, full skills in learning, knowledge application, action planning, communication, metacognitive self-regulation, social interaction, autonomy, caring for one's living place. We should stay, I guess, a long time on each of these situations. And I'm sure that while I'm talking about them, you can think to specific situation that you have seen during your experience at school, and maybe also during your life experience in general. We notice some situation in class. Sometimes we already know something about this student. Sometimes we don't know anything, but we notice that there is something specific and peculiar of this student. Another important domain is about social participation. We can see some students that have difficulties in playing the social roles of student, of pupils. They can They have difficulties in participating in social situations, even not only inside the class, but also, for instance, during the spare time, during the time in school canteen, in various environments, in various contexts. Of course, this is very important also when we send them on a school internship, on a school stage, because we have to discover whether they can play the social role of a worker inside the company we inside the company where he has to achieve the basic learning. There are also some situations that are not due to the specific student. There are environmental contextual factors. We all see situations in families, for instance. We can consider differences in the culture. We can consider difficulties in the social situations. We can consider the difficulty in having services and resources. These situations are sometimes very impacting on the school life of our student, and the question is, what can we do? Of course, we cannot do anything inside the family, but we can give the student a safe and a good environment while he is inside the school. We cannot do we cannot have the same culture for all our students, and sometimes it is better not to have, because it is a richness to have different cultures, thinking to be inclusive, thinking to consider every culture has a result of something that the student cannot really change in a small time. We cannot do anything if there are scarcity of services and resources for this specific student. What we can do is trying to give all the students something that they can have for free at school, in order not to evidence some differences that can be individual. Then we have the most I'm sure you remember the iceberg model of the skills and attitudes. All these personal and contextual factors are on the basis of our scheme of competencies. Thinking about self-esteem, we have students with very low self-esteem. Why? We cannot do anything about the why, but we can do much more about what we do inside our class. We can try to give to higher this self-esteem by giving good feedback to the student, especially when he is doing something good, even if something very small. Another important personal contextual factor is the opportunity to have a control on the emotional actions. Sometimes there is a lack on that, and we have emotional overreactions, and these situations are sometimes very difficult to deal and to manage inside the class, especially if the overreaction are on rage, for instance, or on something that is difficult to control. Even for that, we cannot do anything on the lower and deeper reason of this emotional overreaction. We can try to manage it at school. For instance, giving to the students some time to just slow down the situation, some calm voice to control the reaction, something that is not going on to be a ping pong, which could be, we can only worst the situation. Low motivation. Okay, I see that every day. As I told you, I'm a school counselor, and students that come to my office are not the one with high motivation, of course, are the one who has some difficulties in finding good motivation to go to school, or to go to work, or to do something for the best of their life. So the first situation that we have to manage is to understand what can be I see the life, the star, the even smaller information that the student can give us in order to just open a door of motivation, maybe far from the one that we are looking to high, far from school, but one motivation in general, to start from that in order to go through what we can do at school to add to this very beginning something that can begin a change in the personal situation of the person. Then we can have some difficulties in behaviors. For instance, we have students that have a push to do behaviors that are not in a good relation, that gives a bad relations towards other students. This situation has also to be analyzed together with a specialist, for instance, a psychologist, in order to understand what can we do to manage this situation. Okay. So, do you have any contribution about these six domains, or would you like to say something about these six domains? Please, Isaac, I give you the floor.
Okay, thank you, madam. My So, I wanted to ask, you made mention of the word impairment, and I wanted to know what is the difference between impairment and disability.
Between the disability and the first part, the first word I do not understand, sorry.
Impairment, impair, visual impair or hearing impair. Hello,
Yeah.
did you get me now?
No, sorry.
Okay, I
Can you
was
please?
asking for the difference between visual impairment and disability. Impairment and disability. The
Okay.
difference.
So the disability is something that we can that is something that is stated by an external institution outside the school. So the disability is something that there is a scale. For instance, in Italy, we have a scale of disability. We can have a percentage of disability. This disability can be fixed or not fixed, which is related to a certain time of the person. For instance, if I broke my hand, I have a temporary disability, but I cannot say that to go to school and say I have disability. No, I have to go to the medician, and there is a objective evaluation of what I can do and what I cannot do, and for which time. It can be a permanent disability. For instance, a person who is blind has a permanent disability. These situations are certified, both the permanent and the temporary. While the other situation you are asking are situations. I go back to the slide. Okay, this is this disability. While if we have a situation of difficulties at school, quindi some special educational needs, it is something that is much larger, and it is related to these six boxes. In these six boxes, you see that you don't look at what we can certify. We look at situations that can be observed inside the school, and that gives some consequences on the possibility of the students, by the students, to go. Sorry, I thought I have the. You see, in these six boxes, you have all these situations that are not certified, but are situations that gives us the need to think about a way to better the opportunity for our students to receive education at school. They can be present in certain time of their life or always. It can be related to a specific behavior. Of course, it cannot be certified. If I have a low motivation, it is not something that I can declare as if I am blind. So it is important to give these differences, because from the very beginning, well, special educational needs is something that is quite new as as an achievement, as a goal, as a challenge for us teacher and for the school in general. I hope I understand to the answer.
Very well, very well. Thank you.
Thank you to you. So, Abiola, I give you the floor.
All right, thanks. So of the six domain, the one that particularly catch my attention is the personal context factors that you talked about. So I don't know if maybe going forward you plan to talk about how to help a student that has these issues, for example, low self-esteem, low motivation, and emotional overreaction. So these are three main issues that I see a lot of the students actually deal with. I see them have. So and it's a good thing because you mentioned that you are a counselor. So if you can share your experience, maybe some experience on how you help students that actually have these issues overcome them, because I know that these are not permanent things really. So these are things that they can be worked on and the student can actually improve on. If you can share your own insights, I will greatly appreciate it. But I don't know if it's something you plan to do later. If it's something you plan to do later, then we just wait till that later now.
Thank you. So, what I would like to do with you is to share a general model in order to prepare an individual learning path for students that have these difficulties. But I can share something, for instance, very specific to this situation, starting from what I do at school. So, for instance, one of the teacher, as you could be, send me a student, and this student has low motivation. The question sometimes is simply why he doesn't know whether he wants to go on with the school. He doesn't know what to do after the school. He is not so sure about his choice, even thinking about the very beginning. So what I usually do is starting from making him, the student or her, at ease, talking about general subjects, talking about something that can be that can make him or her feel in a good relation with me. Then I propose him or her to do the performance test, the one that you try to do, that you did, as saying to the student that I'm not a psychologist, so I'm not looking to why he is like that, he feels like that, but on how he is like a person in order to work on his specific situation. After the student has the test, we meet again and we go through the situation. And I try to make him questions related to what appears from the test. For instance, the test says, you are very shy and you prefer not to share with the other people your feelings. And I ask something like, but there are some feelings that you maybe you prefer to share, in which situation. And then after the answer, I say, well, and then there is something that you don't like to share. For instance, I don't like to share my feeling after um, the homework, because I think that I've done something horrible. Okay, what can we do? Would you prefer to do this homework next time together with a classmate? Would you prefer to meet the teacher in another situation, because we care, and we want you to be successful. I start from something very general. Sometimes students say, I don't want to study anymore. I want to give up to school. I never say, no, you don't. I say, okay, let's talk about what would you like to do? What would you like to try to do? What do you think you could do? What are you going to do with the money you are earning by this work? And then we try to I try to make him to think in a clearer way to his future. Um, Sometimes I try to my aim is to make him understand that without finishing the school, he has a poorer work condition. He has not access to the work that he would really like to do. He can earn, yes, but less than what he could do during the school. So this is mm, a sort uh, of play. I try to play the role of something who is on his or her side, which is the truth. I'm on his or her side, but I want him or her to stay at school and to be successful. So I have to try different doors, different situations. I hope this could be at least give you some idea at least of what you should do.
Yeah,
Or
it's
could.
wonderful. It's wonderful. Wonderful, really.
Okay. Oh, we are growing. We are a very big number. So good afternoon to all the colleagues that joined to the call in the last half an hour. I'm going through the subject of special educational needs related to individual learning path, which is our aim for today. I am going to say you something about the theory, also uh, for some moment, and then I will propose you a model to follow for your students in your school, in order to have really a path for this individual plan, to have something to follow. I would like to give you the opportunity to use this model. So we will, after this first part, we will divide into rooms, which is a possibility of meet. And I would like you to try to complete the form on your own with my help, of course, if you need it. Okay. So I start my lesson again. I use my presentation. Benedetta, per favore, puoi ammettere? Grazie. Hello, Elia. I give you the floor if you have some questions.
So I am sorry. It was not intentional. I even just joined. I'm sorry. I'm late.
Never mind. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So here we are. Well, I would like to go on starting from maybe from the first question that that I received. So, which is the difference between disabilities and the concept of health that we want to achieve. If we start from the concept of health, we see that we can assume that a disability is a loss of limitation of opportunities to take part in community life on the same level as others. It can be, as we said, a permanent one or a non-permanent one. But what we would like to achieve is a biopsychosocial wellness, the full realization of one's potential, of one's capability. We cannot do anything if we have a disability. So anything to change that, even so I would like to better this what I said, because I'm not sure that I was able to communicate you in a good way. The concept of health that is given by the OMS assumes that you are in health when you have bio, psycho, and social wellness. These three points of wellness are not related, are not the same as to have the absence of sickness, which is the old concept of health. Nowadays, for our students, we try to give them the opportunity to be in health, of course, in order not to have sickness, but also to find their psycho wellness, to find their social wellness. This is both in school and then during the working period, when they will finish school and they will enter in the work world. What shall we do if we have a student that is in one of the situation that we have seen before, one of the 6 boxes? We can talk about integration and we can talk about inclusion. These terms are very different one from the other. The integration is a situation, a state, a condition. It has a compensatory approach. If we cannot do something in one way, we do that in a different way. If I cannot see well without my glasses, I put my glasses and I better my way of seeing the PC and you and all the world. I cannot drive without my glasses. It is necessary. It's a compensatory approach. In this specific situation, we are talking about school, so integration refers to the educational field. It considers the individual student, the single student, each single student, because if we need to have a compensatory approach, we have to know exactly what we have to compensate. The first intervention that we have to do is on the specific subject. Then we can act on the context. If my student has any glasses, I can put him on the first stage, just before next to the blackboard, in order to see better. It is a second step. It is something that is specialized, of course, because it is individual. So we can act in the same way if there are two students that are exactly in the same situation, in the same condition. If we consider inclusion, is something much more wider, because it refers not to a single condition, not to a single situation, but it refers to the possibility, opportunity of all subjects to participate in school life. So we have to consider all the social, educational sphere of the person. I also wrote political is the general policy of the school, not the political intended as the political in the state. Okay. Something which is very important by doing inclusive education is that we have the opportunity to look to all students and to their full potential. Why? Because we know that they do not grow at the same time and with the same rhythm. We have some students that achieve skills in a quick way, maybe studying the theory, while other needs to practice. Well, if we can join both the theory and the practice, we have the opportunity to include all the students, and so to be inclusive. In the opposition with the integration, the inclusion go first to the context and then to the subject. It considers the context as the best situation for everybody, not only for students that have eventually a difficulty, knowing that they have, but starting from a different point of view, starting from the point of view of having everybody in their best situation. So for this reason, we can act in an inclusive way every day. We do not have to do that in a specialized way. When we find that the inclusive situation is the best one for everybody, we can simply turn it in ordinary. I make you an example. For instance, we consider that it is very important for the students to use our notes while they are studying. But we usually speak. We speak in the class, speaking about this specific lesson. Okay, how can we do? Because the student maybe has some attentional deficit, while some other have some dyslexia, while some other have has no paper to write on it. Okay, maybe we can decide for very specific lesson to make a registration of our lesson. This could be useful for very different situations. It is not something individual. It is good for many special needs, many educational special needs. Well, we see that in the family maybe there is a cellular phone. There is a phone, so we can simply it's only an example, of course. We can have a small registration, and then we can turn it to the students in order to be able to see the lesson again, to check whether the notes are well done, to hear it more time. We have different aims with the same inclusive tool. So for this reason, we can say that inclusion gives the school the opportunity to welcome all differences, and not only the certified ones, not only disabilities, but all differences. It's something very wide. It is a situation in which we can include the maximum opportunities of learning and participation. I like very much these words from Andrula Vassiliou. She is the European Commissioner for Inclusive Education, and she said inclusive education is not an optional extra. It is a basic necessity. We must put our most vulnerable fellow citizens at the center of our actions to enable everyone to live better lives. It is very high as an idea, because it starts from the point that making school possible for the most vulnerable students, that are the students with special needs. We give opportunities to everybody, because if the registered lesson is okay for people that have special needs, it is absolutely okay also for all the others. It is only a way of thinking about it. It is only an idea that we need to have before starting the lesson, before starting our educational plan. If we think about special educational needs, we can see that we can have students that in every for a single period might have some situation of special needs because of a specific family situation, because a change of country, because difficulties in language, in communication. For instance, we can have a difficulty in communication only because the student is growing, changing of voice. Oh, I cannot hear my voice. My voice is not very good to hear, or in changing of the physical, or in a situation of disadvantage that we cannot manage, and maybe we don't know, we discover it from the behavior of the student. I found this drawing, the galaxy of the difficulties, and I find it quite interesting because we see that there are some signs that are not one that are not unique. So we can have something that is one the limit of the other, one coming to the other. So what we can do is, it is very difficult for the school to be able to give a single individual answer for each situation, which is the integration. It is much easier to think about inclusion, but to think about inclusion, we have to clearly know the situation. So in this way, we can prepare an individual learning path that is okay for the student, not giving him or her a specific tool, but giving the opportunity to have a tool that is good for everybody. Okay, so going on the differences between disability and special needs. This is the scheme that we use when we have a disability situation, a classic scheme. We start from the need. We report the need to the family and to the social services. Then we have a certification, which is made from, not from the school, of course, from a specific institution in which you have medician, psychologist, professional persons that can really understand the situation. There are some additional resources, and we have a customized intervention. Okay. Sorry, I thought there was a question for me. So this is a classic one. What we do when there are some specific learning disorders, something for which you need special educational tools. We start from the need, we report to the family, eventually to the social services if we need that. We have a certification, and we have to prepare a customized intervention, which is the personalized learning plan. If we do not have any certification, what shall we do? We always start from the need. We have to report to the family. Maybe we do not report to the services, but I left this word because sometimes we need to better understand what the situation is, and sometimes the family is not the right partner to better understand the situation. We do not have any certification, we do not have any additional resources, but as a school, we have to prepare the customized intervention. So we see that coming from the educational strategies, with this aim, we go to an inclusive education using an individualized learning plan and using a personalized didactical plan. What is the difference between the two? Well, the difference is that in the first one, we include, for instance, all the WBL that we saw in the first and the second lesson. While in the personalized didactical plan, we have to prepare a path, better if it is a written path, a written plan, in order to prepare something that is specific for the students inside an inclusive education. It is a document. It is very important to have this document written because it is a sort of contract. We have to put in this plan the information that we receive from the family, the information that we receive from the student, the information that we receive at school, the goals that we decide are good for the student because of the school. For instance, he is doing a secondary school on mechanics. Of course, we have the school path that we have to follow, and we have to see what are the opportunities for these students inside the path. The purpose is always a good education and a good instruction, the correct one referring to the school. We do not do this document alone. There is a team for inclusion. The team for inclusion is declared inside the document, and this is made by somebody chaired, somebody, a delegate of the school director, or directly the school director, but sometimes the school directors are have too many things to manage. So maybe it is good to have a delegate, a specific delegate for this subject. And then we have the teachers of the students, the co-teaching team, or the class council. We can add also other persons, other supporter of this model. For instance, we can have the support teachers. The support teachers are very important, and we know that their presence in the class is a great help for us while we are doing lesson, because they can manage the situation, the specific situation, and give all the class the opportunity to attend in the best way. Sometimes it is good to have the parents of the student inside the team of inclusion, because we absolutely know that the learning process doesn't finish at school, but goes on at home, doing for homeworks, for going on with the standard of education that we propose to the students. So it is important to have their availability for the team of inclusion. Then we can have also specific professional persons that can be internal or external to the school. For instance, a psychologist or somebody who is specialized in, I don't know, physiotherapy. Sometimes we specialize for logopedy. The student is a fundamental part for the good result of this path. There is a principle of self-determination. They from a certain age onwards, of course, it is important to consider what they think for their life in order to have them committed in achieving their own goals. Another very important thing to say is that the team of inclusion has not the aim to evaluate the student. It is something completely different. We do the evaluation on the subject. The team of inclusion has the importance of deciding what are the instruments, what are the procedures, what are the interventions that are more important for overcoming the difficulties in with respect to the context. We cannot change the context completely. We can adapt it. We want to adapt it. If we want to have an inclusive environment, we have to think about it and to decide what are the opportunities for the students to be included inside. I make you an example, a very easy example. If we have many students with difficulties in the view, in looking with their eyes, but we have few places in the regular layout of the classroom, we can start to think to a different layout. For instance, instead of having all the desks one near the others, and one beside the others, like in chess, we can think to have a different situation in which we have a semicircle beside the blackboard. In this way, we have many more first places to use for our students. In this way, maybe we have less desks in the back that could lead to a loss of attention, a loss of intervention inside the class. We can change the layout in order to make it more inclusive. Of course, if the student has the need to stand up because he or she has some difficulties in attention, we have to choose a place in which there isn't any problems for the other students if this specific student stands up. So at the beginning of the semicircle, in the middle, but in the second row, there isn't a formula for doing that. There is some creativity. There is some tips that you can use. There are some tips. There is some good experiences, and then there is the adaptability of your specific context. You can simply try to adapt it, starting from changing your point of view, starting from the opportunity to see whether a difference in the context, or a difference in the procedure, or a difference in the lesson brings you some better situation, including all the students. So this is the macro scheme, macro model of a personalized didactical plan. You have the students' personal data, you have the educational profile of the students, you have the level of goals that you want to achieve, the minimum expecting level related to the general level of the curriculum. Then you have the individualized and customized teaching activities. You can state some compensatory tools, some dispensatory measures that you have adopted, and you can put, if you have specific forms of doing your verification and evaluation. We will go through each of it. It is not finished like that. We can speak about each of these points. I would like to know whether there is some question about what I said. Okay. So I go on and I finish the theory, and then we have a small break, and then we go on with the exercise. We will go on together using the model, because I think that if you see the model and the single point, you can find much more information, and you can find also much more situation and practical things to do with your students. Before seeing the model, we have to clear two possible tools and procedures that you can use. You can use educational intervention to enable the student in order to make it easy. Or if it is not possible, you can have compensation or dispensing. The three are different, and we have to talk about them in order to be sure that we use the same terms. Maybe you all are using some of these tools, so when we stop, I would like to know whether you have some integration of what I'm saying, because I'm sure that some experiences that you already know can be useful for everybody. So I put a very, very easy example. Enabling compensatory, dispensatory, didactic intervention. So starting from the problem, I want to learn to tie my shoe. When I do enabling intervention, I try to give skills in a very practical way. Is what we do, for instance, when we go to the laboratory, when we go and try to have the students able, skilled in doing a specific practical action. We provide skill, not only saying what he or she has to do, but giving a specific help in order to enable him or her in doing that. The compensatory intervention starts from the point that maybe the student is not has not the skills to do this action. So it simply gives an alternative that can be total or partial, but that can give the same results in a different way. The dispensational intervention is something that you unleave. You do it, you or the action is given without the intervention, the active intervention of the student. So it is okay only if we can see that it is not so important for the specific skilling. I give you an example different from this one, for instance, about mathematics. So the compensatory intervention about a student who has difficulties in dyslexia. he or she can use tables in which he or she can find the formula that he is not able to remember or to write in the correct way. Dispensional intervention. He or she is dyslexic and very slow in reading. Instead of giving him 5 exercises, I give him only 3 or 4 of the same difficulty.
I know I'm a meeting.
So, of course, this situation does not solve the existing problem, but gives to the student the opportunity to make the same task, the same action of the others without without losing the content, making exercises that are exactly like those that are given to the others. We can have also different two other different opportunities. One is facilitation. The facilitation is something that goes with enabling, but with a graduation. It starts from something very basic, very easy, very achieving by the student, and it gives more autonomy in order to improve the skills of the student. This is also very good when we have low self-esteem, because if a student has low self-esteem, it is very difficult to leave him alone doing something. It is very common that the self-esteem goes even decreases even more than the first situation. While if we try to do the task together with the student and then to give him the task, but just looking at him, and then to giving him the task but going away and then coming back to see whether the task is okay. This is an example of facilitation. This help is temporary. It has to be something that doesn't last forever, because our aim is the achieving of a skill that has to be part of the competencies of the student. In order to be a good facilitation process, it is important that this autonomy is never desponsibilizing. Of course, if we do the task together with the student in the first time, it is our responsibility to do that in a perfect way, and of course it will be done in a perfect way. After that, it is important to be sure that the student has at least the prerequisite, the basis to be able to achieve some autonomy in more and more. It is important to declare to the student that at the end he will be on his own doing this task, and the help that we are giving is only to enable him to do that alone. Okay, then we have to make systematic observation while we try to go in a good way with the specific educational needs. Why? Because if we have a systematic observation, we can sometimes discover, we can be aware of situation at an early stage, at the very beginning of the situation. And we can manage it, of course, in a easiest way if we discover it at the very beginning. Then we can try to apply compensatory and dispensatory measures and see what is the result. For instance, going back to the math example, at the very beginning, we give to all the students 5 exercises, and we give to the special need student 3. We want to see how much time does the student needs to finish. For instance, we are doing a homework, something in class, and we give half an hour. If the student finishes the 3 exercises before the time finishes, we can add another exercises, telling him that this exercise will not be evaluated, so he can feel free to do it in the time that he needs. It is only to try to understand what is this situation. If we can achieve in doing something more that in comparison on what we stated at the very beginning. This is a way to observe if the measures are appropriated, a way to give more autonomy to the students, a way to improve self-esteem, a way to observe good practices, a way to include the student inside the class exactly as the others, because we don't want to support the idea that the one student is considered in a different way. I don't say a best way or worst way, in a different way from the others. If we observe, we can define teaching and methodological strategies. We can see what is the things that works the best, and we can share that in the inclusion team. We can share our teaching system in order to give the others opportunities to better their way to teach. We can draft an individual learning path that is effective. We can monitor it by observation. It is useful to make some notes of that, because sometimes when we have many lessons in different classes, we observe something in a specific moment, but we don't note it. So when we arrive to the meeting, we do not have a clear idea of all the things that we did and a clear idea of what we can exchange with the others. It is very important, the observation, because we can make a good and appropriate evaluation. As we say, special needs are not always permanent. Sometimes they change, and so the idea of testing and evaluation that we had in a certain time can change by observing that there is something different also in the way the student stay at school. And then the observation is very good for us, because maybe we think that we can better have our way of teaching. Maybe we think that the students that fail because of their personal or environmental troubles are a failure also for us. So the fact of observing give us a continuous feedback and give us a best support on our relational and emotional feeling. Okay. Do you have any question for me? Please, Abiola, I give you the floor.
Okay, so it's not so much a question, but I think there's something I didn't get very well when we were talking about. I think we were talking about the measures. So you talked about the um, enabling, then I think the compensatory, right? So the enabling, I think I understand that part. I understand the what's the other one again? Then the dispensatory is where I actually have an issue anyway. So because the part where it says it doesn't solve the problem, right? It's almost like it doesn't solve the problem, and I'm asking myself, why do you want to use a measure that doesn't solve a problem in the first place? I don't know if you get my meaning.
Okay. Well, this is a decision of the inclusion team. The inclusion team analyzes the situation of the student, and the inclusion team decides whether the skills of the student are okay for enabling him or her to the task that we want him or her to do in order to achieve the competencies. The task can be reading 10 pages for tomorrow. Okay, is it okay? Yes or no? From this question, from the answer to this question, we can decide whether we need a to do something. And what we need to do, we need to compensate. No, the student is not able to read. It is better if he can listen the book. And we have a reader. There are readers. You can simply take the part that you want to read, and then the voice on the computer can read it for you. And this is a possibility. Or you can have a person, a physical person who reads. You can see it depends on the context, it depends on the opportunities, it depends. There isn't a best way. There is what we can do related on what is the best way for the student. Or we can say, no, the student can read. It is very good for him or her to read, but this is too much. So we can take some shortage, not 10 pages, but 5, I don't know, because 5 are enough for the time he has, for the situation he has, for everything that the inclusion team decides. Okay? The important thing is that these 5 pages are as different as the others. For instance, it is a novel, but if it is not like that, if 10 pages are necessary for the full competence, for instance, we can make a summary, we can make a scheme, we can make a draw of the content, a map. Logical maps, for instance, are one of the useful things that we can use for everybody, because they are very useful for people in special needs, but they are also very useful for all the students. This is a very good example for inclusion. You decide that this tool is very good for everybody. It can be perfect for the students in special needs. It can be perfect also for all the others. Do I understand? Do I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Okay, because I think I got it confused. Like when you said dispensatory, like I was actually thinking before that maybe it's a situation where maybe after the inclusion team eventually look at the whole scenario with the student, and then they look at the particular, for example, skill. Maybe they look at it and say, okay, is this really necessary? And then if it's not, perhaps the student is struggling with it in the first place. Okay, maybe they're not dispensing. Okay, you can go ahead. This is not so much necessary. You can go ahead and continue with other things without this. And so, but your explanation shows that it's a little bit different or a little bit more than that. And I think it's clear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Maybe I can put in, I can give you and all the others a scheme of some examples of dispensative and compensative measures. So you have examples, specific examples, and that you can maybe adapt these examples to your students, to your reality. Maybe can be useful.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good.
So I propose you a break. It's 4 hour, 6. I propose you a quarter of hour of break. We take a coffee and we will meet again at 4 hour 20, if it is okay for you. Benedetta, ci sei?
I think it's okay.
It's okay. Okay. Thank you. Have a
Okay,
good coffee.
it's fine. So,
Thank you.
welcome. See you then.
Ah, no, not coffee.
Ghana, we
What
don't
are
eat
you
coffee. Now
doing
we eat
going
food.
to take now, allora? I don't know, tea or something like that. Please, Jose, I give you the floor.
Yeah.
Elijah, you're on loudspeaker.
Good afternoon again. Here I am.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I had my coffee and now I feel better.
We drank water.
You drank water? Okay. In Italy, we are coffee found. Ok, allora. So I would like to start again from the summary slide of the presentation about the individualized learning path, and then to go through the model in order to have a look at it, and then to divide you in two rooms. And I would like you to try to complete it. I will pass from one room to the other in order to help you, and we will meet every, I don't know, every 15, 20 minutes all together in order to see what are your proposals. Okay? So, the exercise that I propose you is about this plan. We will create a PDP or PDP for a specific student, starting from a specific educational profile, and we will define the objectives, the learning objectives for him, referring to our curriculum. Of course, I know that you come from different schools, so it would be necessary to decide one single specific curriculum and to try to complete the form for the specific student. Then we suppose which are the individualized and customized activities that we want to plan for this specific student, which are the proposal of compensatory tools and dispensatory measures that we can adopt for him, and if we have something about evaluation that can be customized. There is also a part which is related to work-based learning that I didn't put in this slide because you already know everything about these topics, and then we will go through it inside the plan. So, okay, here we are. Maybe I can enlarge it. So the model that you see is the translation of the official model given by our Ministry of Education. Together with it, there is also a very long and detailed scheme with all the legislation, but I prefer not to show it to you just giving that there are more legislation, that there is a larger legislation of that, starting from the basic legislation that we see at the very beginning of our lesson. Okay, so this module has to be adapted to the school. Inside you put the school header, or you can print it on your school paper, and you start with the school year 1923-1924. You put the name of the student and the class. It is assumed that this individualized educational plan is inside the personal documents of the student, so you do not have to write again everything born on, in, and resident in. You do not have to write it again in this module. But if you want to personalize it for your school, you can change all the things that you think that are not useful, or add the things that are more useful for you. It is intended to be something that you can adapt. Even inside the different schools in Italy, this is the largest plan, but you can choose to add something or to unleave something if you think that these information are not applicable or are not very useful for you. So the first thing is assessment of the condition of disability in developmental age for the purpose of inclusion scholastic related on. So you can have it or not, because if you have not it, you are thinking to a person that has no disability. I remember you that in any case, you have the customized intervention, and in particular, the PDP, which is the one that we are seeing, are for specific learning disorders and also for special need education, not certified. So it is not necessary that the person has a certification, but if he has one, we have to report it. Okay. You have operational profile on, operational profile not available, individual project. So for this reason, we can use this module both for situation in which we have a certification, and for situation in which we do not have, and we will not have any certification, because the student has not has no disability. So this first page is a sort of heading, like in the quality system. You always have the first part, which is the part in which you see the date in which you have done the draft PDP, the day of the first subscription, the intermediate verification, scusatemi qua, intermediate. Ecco. and then the final verification. After this third part, you see there is the list of members of the team of inclusion. Name and surname specify in which capacity, which role, should be better to write, each component participates in the PDP, because he is the delegate of head of a school, because he is the math teacher, because he is the psychologist. You have to write the name of the role, because in this way it is clearer what this person can bring to the team of inclusion as a competence, a specific competence, in order to better it. The signature is needed because it is a sort of, well, maybe to say a contract is too much. It's a commitment. It's a commitment. It is a commitment. Then you have the third part, info board, family situation, description of the students by parents or guardians or other member of the PDP. You start writing who is the tutor, what is the family situation, what you see in general of the student. We are talking about Marco. Marco is a student of 16 years old. He is the second child of a family living not far from Verona. The student has always always had the difficulties in attending school, starting from the primary school. The school evaluation reports, and you write what the report is. Then there are elements derived from the student's self-description through interviews or through interviews. In this case, you can include the information that you receive from the student specifically, because it is important to understand what is the student point of view, both for the research of the situation that can succeed in overcoming the difficulties, and both for the commitment of the student inside the program. General elements derived from the operating profile, or if not available, from the functional diagnosis or the dynamic functional profile. This is what you add if you have a situation of disability, because you have a functional diagnosis, you have a dynamic functional profile, you have an operating profile, you have something that add what you know from the family and what you know from the student. On the basis of what you have seen, the dimension which are respect to which it is necessary to define specific intervention in the individual educational plan are identified. Section of the you have the that are not involved are omitted. So, for instance, socialization, interaction, relationship dimension are defined in section 4A, 5A. What are these numbers? Are exactly here. 4A, 4B, 4C. Okay. Communication language dimension, autonomy dimension orientation, cognitive, neuropsychological, and learning dimensions. For each one, you can check must be defined or should be omitted. It depends on the situation. As I stated before, this is a general model, so you can adapt it to your specific situation, to the specific situation you meet at school. Connection with the individual project. Summary of the content of the individual project and its methods of coordination interaction with this, taking into account the consideration of the family if the individual problem has already been drawn up. Indication to be taken into account in preparation of the individual project. So the individual project is the one that we see here. It's the more it's a larger program. I always propose to start from the personalized educational plan, personalized didactical plan, and then to go to the individualized learning plan, which is larger and includes higher goals to achieve along all the school path. Okay. Then you are asked to define which are the strengths on which to build educational and didactical intervention. So it is very important, as we say before, the observation, because if you observe these different dimensions, you can see what the students, how the students behave, and what are the area on which it is more important to prepare, to help him in order to achieve his aims. You can have a dimension of relationships, as we wrote before, communication, autonomy, cognitive. After the first period of the year, we have a midterm review. You will see all along the documents, every step includes a midterm review. It is impossible to wait till the end of the school year and then to discover whether the goals are achieved or not. Normally, this plan is prepared in October, maximum at the beginning of November. So this is the period for this document. And then at about February, March, there is a point in order to see if something is going on, if something can be changed, if we need to do something in order to better the situation. So for the first part of the exercise, I would like you to complete only pages 1, 2, and 3. So I stop the. Please, Ibrahim, I give you the floor. In the meanwhile, I divide you into the rooms. Please, Abiola, I give you the floor.
Yeah, thank you. So this document that we are going to work on, are you going to share it with us?
Yes.
Or is it in the room? Okay, all right.
I will share. I will put it. I'm not sure I can do it. If I cannot, I will ask Benedetta to send it to you, because I see that maybe when I send a message, I cannot add anything in the chat. I will try to. Okay. So I'm preparing the rooms. I think that I will give you 20 minutes to make the first part. I divide you in a casual way, not in a defined way. So the first thing that I suggest you is to choose a leader in order to drive the group, the team. I will give you 20 minutes to do the job, and I please ask Benedetta to send you the document.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, Madam, this is Ibrahim.
Please, Ibrahim, I give you the floor.
Yeah, sorry. For the assignment, you said we should do it in a group. Are we to do it before the lesson end and submit it today, or?
Yes, you should do it before the meeting ends. I'm sending you the document right now. I'm sending
Okay.
it by email right now.
Okay, we are waiting for the documental.
Thank you so much. I hope to. Allora,
You are welcome.
thank you so much. The name is template PDP. So please let me
hello.
know whether you see it. Mabel, I give you the floor, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, I want to know the groupings. Are you going to do it all? We are going to do it ourselves. You said you are going to group us to do the assignment you are going to give us. I want to know, are you going to do the groupings or we are going to do it ourselves? Thank you.
I try to divide you in 2 groups. In you, I'm not sure. Altri gruppi. You should be there. You are now receiving the invitation to go to the room. Please go to the room. I will join you as soon as I see that everybody is in the room. Please, I ask everybody to go to the room to prepare to make the exercise. Thank you. I go to room number 2 and I wait for you.
Yeah, I checked my mails and there is nothing inside. I wanted to see the assignments so we can do it together.
Yes, I have it.
Please, in our group, who is leading us through?
So we are again all together because I put the timing in the room. this is the reason why we are back. Maybe you are used to use this tool and you know already how it works. I put 15-20 minutes and then here we are. So I can share the result of the room in which I used my template in order to see an opportunity. I didn't wrote anything starting from my point of view. I kept the information from the colleagues that were in the room. So we are thinking about a specific student who is attending Form 2. He has an operational profile who was drafted on September 2023. And about the description, the student is 17 years old. He is the seventh of 16 children. He comes from a low-income family. He grew up in a slum. He lives very far from school. He has an exaggerated image of his abilities. He gets into confrontation with both maths classmates and teachers regularly. From the interview of the student is that he does not like completing tedious tasks, for instance, tasks that have sequences. And we know from the operational profile that he has an ADHD diagnosis. All this information is very important for us. Why? Because we are thinking about social situation, personal situation, ability in communicating, ability in using in a good way the emotions, environmental difficulties, sorry. So we have a first idea of this situation, and we can think about what we can do. Then I ask the other group to share what they succeeded in doing, knowing that 15 minutes is a very small time to work on this model. Can you please show us what you succeeded in doing? There isn't any evaluation.
Is that our group?
Okay, if you prefer, we can go on the exercise and try to improve the module just a bit more, and then to meet I guess at 5:45 in order to have a quarter of hour to make a condivision of what we have done. I will build the two rooms again it's on casualty basis, so I'm not sure that you will be there with the same companion that you had in the first period. It's something very creative in this way. I propose you to go on in order to see what we can do in this way. I will pass from one room to the other as I did before.
So just a quick one. So are we still doing pages 1 to 3?
I do not understand, Abiola. Can you please repeat?
Yes. Before you shared us the last time, you said we should just focus on pages 1 to 3, pages 1, 2, and 3. So is that
We
what
go,
we are still focused on?
yes, we go on. We go on the template because the time was too short, and so we try to do as much as we can. Page 3. But we did more than that. And the part, you will see that the part in which you have the observation on the student to design didactic support intervention is quite difficult to write. It's not something very, very short. But if you want, we can do that. So maybe you can finish it for the last time if it is not possible to finish it right now. Okay. So after this part, page 3, observation on the student, you have the part which is related to intervention. So what would you like to do in order to define educational and didactic objectives, goals, tools, strategies, and methods? First, relationship, interaction, socialization. Reference is made to an effective socialization, relational sphere, considering the area on the self, the relation with others, the motivation towards the conscious relationship, also with the peer group. Objectives, also specifying the expected outcomes. Relation in a positive manner with the classmate. Expected outcomes, not to create a bad situation during the class or at the end of the class. Educational, didactic, and methodological intervention, strategies, and tools. Here we can put some strategies, some idea of strategies. What we would like to do in order to overcome the problems and to succeed in achieving the outcomes. And then we put some verification, methods, criteria, and tools used to verify whether the objectives have been achieved. We have this table for each dimension. Of course, if you did not put anything in the first block, you do not have to complete the dimension in the following pages. You choose only the dimensions that you want to use. For instance, for the students that we see before, we have for sure the dimension number A. I don't know whether there are other dimensions. Maybe this one, because the the student has not a correct idea of his skills. So for this reason, maybe we have 2 blocks to complete. So in the second part, you will complete only the block number A and the block number D. Letter A, letter D. And you want to complete the other 2. Okay? So let's try to go on just a little bit. Please, Abiola.
Yes, thank you. Now, the observation, that's point 4 now. Observation on the students to design the didactic support intervention. So when you're talking about the dimension, so the way you describe it now, you almost talk about it as weakness, almost like in reference to what we know about the student, the weaknesses. But from what I'm seeing on this point 4, is actually almost like the strength the students have that we can actually build this dimension on. So perhaps he's weak in one area, but he has strength in this other area. So the intervention we are going to give will be based on the strength of the student. I don't know if I've mixed it up.
This is the reason why I would like you to try to complete the form. Because if you complete the form, and I am talking to all of you, we can share your solutions, and we can find the one that better fits your needs. There isn't the best one. There is the model that you choose to be the best one for you, for your school, for your situation. The one that is more clear, also to be shared with the other person being the inclusion teams. Okay. So this, I would, next time we for sure we start the lesson from the analysis of what you you have done in this week about these tips. I will show you some models already completed, so we can see what are the results that you put inside. I can propose some information, and all together we can choose which is the best for you.
Okay.
As I repeat, this is this lesson is a way to grow all together. I do not have any right in task, right already defined. I would like you to contribute in order to be able to find the best solution. I propose you to use another 20 minutes in the rooms in order to go on with that model, if you agree.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Thank you. So I put 20 minutes. And casual distribution.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, I'm some of my assignment today. Yeah.
Hello to everybody.
Yeah, madam.
Hello, hello.
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 Yeah.
Hello.
I'm aware that the task was not so easy, and I had some contribution in one room while I couldn't able to go to the other room. So I don't know, see if you succeeded in going on. Please, Elia, I give you the floor.
Yeah, the time was not enough.
Yeah, I
20
know. I'm
minutes was
aware.
not enough.
I'm absolutely aware of that. I don't. I know. It was. I would like it to be a first step. A first step in order to see the model, because if we only read the model, you say, well, it's okay. Something very, we can understand everything. Everything is clear. We know what we should do. But when you start to apply it to a specific student, to a specific case, that is much more difficult to do, and you need time. This was the my aim, to do that together in order to have more heads, more people to think about what you write, what to write. So never mind, it's okay. I didn't expect it to be finished. Absolutely. I only would like you to go through it. We still have a few minutes, and I would like to finish to go through the other pages that are inside the model, the template. Abiola, please.
Yes, please, if you don't mind, because for some reason you've not been in any of my group, so I just want to be sure that what we've done in this last group um, I mean, is close to what you actually have in mind. I don't know if you can just, even if it's just 5 minutes, to just go through what we have, or even less, just go through what we have so that we can get your consent.
Please do.
Okay, so I will present.
I'm ready. Absolutely.
Okay, so this is what we have. I mean, this is just the name of the institution. Philomena Afram is the name of our student.
Okay.
These other parts are just dates released on. So let me just go to the juice of the whole thing. Now, here we the information description of the student from parent. So we know from here that the student, even though she's patient, loving, and every other thing, but she has suffered from a low self-esteem, which has actually which makes her doubt her abilities, and this affects her academic endeavor. So she's not performing well because of this low self-esteem. So that's for the description from parents. Now, from the interview that she has had with some of the school representative, so we noticed that one of the key factor that contributes to that low self-esteem is that she's from a poor background. Mhm. Now, her background is, and the fact that she's from a poor background, and then now she's among students that are from more well-to-do background, so she's kind of a little bit ashamed of herself and all the kind of things. It's one of the reasons why she's not able to perform well. What has contributed to the low self-esteem? Okay, so we move on to
If I can add something that
yes.
should be interesting for you to have while you
Okay.
write this paper, is to write something about the way she study, the way she learn. Maybe
Okay.
you can write, I don't know, she usually study alone because of her situation. So this is something that worst her situation. Or during the class, she never puts her hand on, because she thinks that what she says is not so interesting, so adequate, so good. So you have also something about didactical strategies afterwards.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's yeah, very correct. Okay. Um, okay. So we move on from here. Observation on the students, and so this part there was a little bit of a confusion. I think I asked the question and then you answered it. But see, this is what we try to do here. So because she has low self-esteem, dimension of relationship. So we are saying that um, we are supposed to build on our strength now. So we are saying we make her a part of a small group. Now, this part, I don't know if this is what we are supposed to do here. Is one of the reasons why I'm presenting this. So make her a part of a small group um, in a bit to help solve the problem, basically. We are trying to look at possible solutions to help her improve in this area. But is that what this point 4 is about?
Okay, so maybe the things that you wrote inside, you or your colleagues wrote inside, should be better put in the following part, the one of the strategies. In this one, you should, yeah, here, exactly, because these are already some outcomes and some strategies that you put together.
Okay, okay.
While in this part, you should notice something that are the point of strengths on which to build educational. So maybe she is able to speak. She is more likely to speak when she is in a small group, or when she is alone. When you talk in a singular conversation, this could be a point of strength, because we know that from this point onwards we can build something. This for the communication and language. In the first part, socialization, also with that, she is more likely to find some friendship when she find some classmate who is very patient and nice and smiling like she is. And so we have a point of starting point from what we would like to build.
Okay, okay. Okay,
Okay.
that's great. That's great. Uh-huh. Okay, wonderful. Okay, I think it's
Grazie.
already clear because you've already mentioned that what we have in 4 is what should actually be here. So I think this is where we stopped anyway.
You can go through, and then next time we start from this document. But I would like also the other teachers to try, because if you try on a specific person thinking exactly to this student, you find more a practical use. Of course, you can better your skills about this subject. Okay.
Okay, so let me stop sharing now so you can continue. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you to you. I do not care if we need just a few moments, additional moments. It is not important to me. What I really care is that you find the tips and the model useful for you. So we put all the time that you need on your question and on your contribution. As I'm sorry. So very thank you to you. So we have reached the 6 o'clock, 6.1. I think that we can greet each other, and we can see on next Friday, and we will go on this information, and then at the end, we will go on the documents for the company ownership that I guess maybe some of you try to complete. I would like to go on this subject, preparing the project that we will see together in 3 weeks. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
evening.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye, Maria.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very